Good morning and welcome back to the Amputee Angler in the lock at Eastbourne. Currently the only one in here. It's about 6 AM I think it is, so there was a few commercial boys in at 5:30 and I was taking a bit of fuel on my own, so I was like, just get them out, get them done, and now I'm ready to go. Taking a gamble today, going offshore. It's the 8th of May I think it is at the minute, and I'm going to go and try and find an early turbot. Now I've never had them this early. The earliest I've had them is back end of May. Doesn't mean they're not there. Normally you struggle with whiting out there. You can't get the baits through the whiting out on the deeper banks where we fish. They've started showing way down west, but we seem to get them a bit later. But I've got a free day, it's going to be flat calm, so I'm going to go out and try and give it a go. If that doesn't work, I'll go wrecking. Big tide, 6.8, so I've got options, and the bass have turned up at Beachy Head ledges as well later on the ebb. So that's my plan. Standard rigs, running ledges, turbot rigs, which I've done videos of before, so go and check them out if you want to see them. But of course, I will show you as I go. Waiting for the lock turnaround, and then we'll be off. Well, we're out here now on the banks. Now the reason this is a bit of a gamble is twofold today. One, it's actually really early for here, for catching turbot. And two, I don't have any fresh bait. Inshore is May rotted up to hell at the minute, so I didn't bother trying there. So I've come all the way out to the ground, which is quite a long way, with some old manky frozen mackerel, and it's just not the same. Your chances go right down when you haven't got fresh bloody mackerel. So if I don't catch any, I'm going to be in a pickle and I'm going to have to go wrecking. But I'll give it a go with what I've got. Hopefully we can register something. If not, then we just go and wrecking. That's just how today's going to go. That's why it's a gamble. Oh, but we might have some bait. Hold fire. Hold fire, folks. So I've got feathers down and we've got some mackerel, guys. This is just a Penn Conflict jigging rod. And a set of feathers just bounced off the bottom, and we've got fish. Hopefully it's mackerel and not gurnard. All the time I'm just trying to manage my turbot rods as well, because we're coming down the bank in a minute. We have got a bite on the back turbot rod as well. All going on now. There's the leader. Oh, would you believe it? It's a bass. Would you believe it? It's a bass. Oh dear. It is a bass. It's not even bait, it's a bass. Oh, there we go. That could be a sign of things to come. Right. He probably just goes, that one. There we go. It's a nice little bass. He's going to be too... He will probably just go, but I'm going to put him back. Well, I was just dropping the feathers down again. Start of a new drift. And we've picked something up on the way down. I'm hoping it's mackerel. And that'll make me feel a bit more confident about what I'm trying to achieve here today. However, if it's more bass, then that's no good to us. Hopefully I can get this out and get a bait down. Oh, it is back. Yes, get in. Get in. Mackerellies, yeah. Right. Now we're halfway to winning now. Four lovely baits there. I need probably 3 or 4 times that much today, because a friend's going tote fishing this weekend and he's asked me to get some bait, so I'm under a bit of pressure. But that means we got some fresh bait now for what we're trying to do. Right, well, we're just about to come up and down the bank. I'm just quickly going to talk about it. Turboting. Most people don't catch turbot because they're not on the bottom, or like possibly today, they're just not here. Wrong time of year, wrong place. As you're coming up the bank and down the bank, you got to make sure your thumb's on the spool. I know mine's out here, but it's because I'm talking to you. and you got to let that line off to make sure that lead is on the bottom, because if when you come down a bank you don't let the line off, your bait's just going to go kiting over the top, and all the turbot at the bottom or the top of the bank, depending on which way the tide's going, you're just going to put your bait straight over. Mackerel fillet down the side, halved, so you get 2 baits out of one side of a mackerel. Hook once in the tail, running ledger, bling is optional, and that is pretty much it. Don't strike, just hold it. If you get a bite, give it a little bit of line, just to take the bait straight down further in its mouth, because they grab the end and then they have a second go at it. And then it's just a case of lifting into it and constant tension on the reel. Now I'm going to try and pay attention here, because I need some more bait, and I have got a bait down now. So let's see if we can't snatch one. You can see now it's got a little bit choppier. That's where we're coming over the top of the bank, and the water is rushing up. See, now that's not on the bottom there, so I'm letting some line off. Now my bait is down where it needs to be. We're now running down the bank now, so it's getting deeper. A nice bite. And we got a fish. Wow, we've been going for a couple of hours on these banks. Oh, it might even come off. Oh, it might come off. I'm not sure. We're going for a couple of hours on these banks and it's been barren. I just had a nice bite. Oh, I think it's still there, whatever it is, it's still there. Right. Hopefully it's what we're after. Yeah, we're still there, guys. It's woke up a little bit now. There's a lot of tide running, so hopefully it's not a doggy. Steady reeling, keeping the tension on. There's the leader. Oh no. It's the trouble that you have out here at this time of year. It's a channel whiting. It's a nice size one. I mean, it's a nice size whiting. That ain't too bad, but that's why we don't fish turbot too early, because of the whiting. That's a shame. Well, that's the whiting. It wasn't a bad size whiting, to be fair. But normally if these are on the ground out here, it's not worth the hassle. They get to the baits quicker. There's too many of them. They far outnumber the turbot. So that tells me that today, along with the bigger tide, might well be a waste of time out here on the bank. So we'll finish this drift and then we're going to go wrecking, I think. Not worth messing when something ain't working. Got to mix it up, change it. So that's what I'm going to do. Wrecking now. There's a tiny, and I mean probably the smallest wreck I think I've ever fished, on my way to where I want to go. I've never touched this one, and it is so small. In fact, it's just coming in now. Probably coming down a bit quick on it. Yeah, I thought I'd give it a go just to have a look. Barely anything there. Don't think anything come up either. Tiny little lump. There's a fish or something. Pout had a go at it then. We're already past it. I mean, we're rocketing through 1.8 knots. So I'll try that again with a bit more of a run up, but it is tiny. But I can hit it. So I'll try that again. Rushing because it is so small, you have to get out of the wheelhouse and down. We've got a fair bit of tide today as well, so I do like these little wrecks. I've said it before in my videos, it's hard to hit and they're tiny and people think, oh, there won't be nothing on them, but sometimes they have some absolute gems, really good fish. Probably only going to get one up and down on this, it's that small. There we go. And there is the wreck just coming in. We should be coming straight over the top of it. Drop down again. I'm only going to go shallow on this one because it is a tiny, tiny wreck. Fish. Out that is. Oh, that's fish. Oh, I think that might be pout. Didn't feel anything solid that. I think it might be pout that. That'll do us, I reckon, on that one. We move. It's got toasty out here, a flat calm. It's beautiful. Look at this. There's a little bit of slop this morning, but it's got beautiful. I can see a boat further ahead of me. Right. Time to move on there. Let's go find some fish. It's a slow morning so far, but we're not going to give up. We're not going to give up. Right, another wreck now. This one's a lot bigger. And it's in very deep water, this one. It's about as deep as it gets here in the English Channel for us, down where we are, off the Sussex coast. Obviously, other areas may get deeper. Yeah, other areas may get deeper. But for us here, it's about as deep as it gets. And I've never fished this wreck either, so it's going to be interesting to see how this one is. It looks quite nice. It's got a big gouge at the back of it, which can hold fish sometimes as well, not just the wreck itself. But it'll be interesting to see. So I'm going down with a rhubarb and custard 6-inch sidewinder. It's a classic colour. Hopefully we can pick something up. And there's the wreck. Looks like it's got quite a low profile, this one. It's quite long, but doesn't look like it stands up that much. Might be a candidate. Oh, there's fish. Yeah, fish on. Fish on. There we go. Fish on, guys. First drop on this wreck then. Go for the 2-speed here. Feels alright, this. Always nice when you drop on a wreck and you get one first drop on it. Wouldn't like to call it. The initial dive was Pollacky, but it doesn't feel like that now. Here comes my leader. What have we got? No, that is a nice Pollock. Bit of tail walk there. He has engulfed that. I'm just going to try and lift him in. There we go. Oh, we'll take that, guys. We will take that. Well, there we are. Engulfed that rhubarb and custard sidewinder. Absolutely engulfed it. That's all that Pollock took. It's a 6-inch rhubarb and custard. And that was just on a nice steady retrieve, and that was it really. Perfect hook hold it and engulfed it. Right, round again. That wasn't too bad of a fish. Maybe 4 or 5 pound maybe. It's all right for the first one on this wreck. Straight away, first drop down. Hopefully we can get another one. And then I might put the camera down on this one. It's long, but it doesn't sit too high. If I don't snag up a couple of times, that's normally a good indicator that I can put my camera down. As long as you keep it away from the wreck, it's okay. So we shall see. Oh, it's getting toasty out here now. Right, there is the bottom. As I'm going round, I'm just rigging up the camera, so I'll put a little tracer on the top end of it, and then I'll put a lure on the bottom end of it, and then I'll have a go at clipping it on. Probably next go, I'll go once more with a lure, and then I'll put the camera down. Brings a nice element of fun to my fishing now. A little bit of risk because I might lose it, but it's getting some really good clear footage, and it's giving me a greater understanding of what it is I'm doing down there. The tide is actually swinging now as we speak. The wreck hadn't come in, I just popped my head in there, and you can see the line starting to curve round. Where it is such a big tide, it will get to the top of it and then just turn around and come back the other way. When it's a smaller tide, it can take a couple of hours to get going. So I've just adjusted now and put myself right over it, And now if I have my jigging rod, this will be when I'll do me jigs, but it's okay. Oh yeah, fish on. There we go. There's a fish. There's a fish. Really high, that one. Possibly another small pollock. Just keeping that tension on. Keeping that. Oh, it's just come off. Just come off. Proper little head shakes. I think that was a small pollock. Let's go straight back down again. It was a small pollock, that one. Would have been nice to get it in, but it is what it is. Can't catch them all. It's gone like a sheet of glass out here now. It's only taken 6 months, but we're finally getting the weather, or 5 months. We're finally getting a run of nice weather. Everyone's been pulling their hair out in the harbour, and rightly so. This reel is a Penn Fathom 2 lever drag, and the rod is a 1220 custom. Absolutely lovely. Wrecking like this, you just need a soft tip rod, something that's not too stiff in the ends. If it's too stiff, when you get those initial dives with a pollock or even a nice bass, if it's too stiff you can bump it off, whereas a nice soft tippy rod, by tippy I mean it takes a lot of load in the end of the rod, so very flexible. When you get those crash diving runs, it just helps absorb it along with your drag, along with your stretching your line. You don't want nothing too heavy when you're wrecking, otherwise you will lose fish. So I'm just looking now on my sounder, just for when that wreck starts to come in. We've got quite clear water out where I am at the minute, so we should, as it comes up, we should be able to see the wreck on the bottom. And as it just starts, I'm just looking to drop it back down again, to hit the ground in front of it, to then come up and over the wreck perfectly. It's a bit of an art, even more so with a camera. And there is the wreck, so we should just be coming up over this now. Yeah, it's a bit of an art to get it right, but if you do, you see some really good stuff. And I'll slowly let it down. I've also discovered you've got to reel a bit faster with this, because you've got a camera sort of 8 inches in front of your lure. The weight of the camera dips up and down, and it affects the lure. It keeps stopping. I've noticed it. But by keeping a bit faster, the end of that line where your lure is, it just keeps that tail moving. Well, we are losing the tide now, and I've also lost my hat and my life jacket. Not permanently, I'm just taking them off, but the wreck's coming up, so I'm just going to quickly get this one down now. Perfect conditions, flat calm. Yeah, we're losing the tide now, so it's going from the end of the flood and it's going to start ebbing soon. And it's a big tide today, so when it gets going it's going to roar, and I've got to punch against it when that happens. So I'm just starting to make my way back in shore now. It's not even 12 o'clock yet. But to be honest with you, I did a little bit of a reconnaissance on the Turbot this morning. I've caught a couple of pollock. I'm happy. So I'll hit a few wrecks on the way home, probably snatch a few more fish. And then I'll be getting in for a sensible time, and I can go home and enjoy this glorious sunshine before a weekend with my boys. But this has gone glass now, literally glass. Beautiful. So different wreck, this one. Bigger, a bit more snaggier, I believe. I have fished this once or twice, but not for a long time. It's not ideal, because like I say, we have lost the tide. I do like a bit more tide for when I'm luring, unless I'm jigging, but my jigging rod isn't with me today. It's being mended. Had a handle slipped off, so it's being re-glued in. But hopefully we can snatch 1 or 2 more. On a 6-inch white pearl now, sidewinder. fish on. Fish on, is that fish? Yeah, fish on. Got something on. No, wreck on. Wreck on. Our tide's gone now, we're ebbing, so got a little bit of tide left. I'm just going to give it a couple more drifts and then I'm going to head home. Roasting out here today. It's a beautiful day, but I'm going to get home and I'm going to spend some time in my garden and do a few bits and bobs. Some life admin to catch up with. I've been away for the last couple of days, so I'll make today a short one. Hopefully we can snatch one more. One more nice one will be lovely. Like. That's fine. Fish on, fish on. Fish on, guys. I hit the deck and I just went in the wheelhouse to have a look at what was going on, and something's hit it hard on the deck. Now I'm hoping this is a cod. It is a bit noddy. Real hard on the deck that was. Got some weight to it. Oh, it's just come off again. Ah! I think that was a nice cod. So close to the top as well. Oh, so close to the top. No, that was quite meaty, that was. Ah. Couldn't do nothing about it. It's a big head shake gone. Felt like a cod, that one. It splashed down on the bottom at the same time as I'd stopped to go and check the wheelhouse to make sure we were going over the wreck, and it picked it up on the bottom. Didn't fight like a pollock, it just boom, 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 boom. Just solid head shakes. That was quite heavy. Ah dear. Yeah, fish on. Fish on. Yeah. Might be a pout though, this one. Either a pout or a tiny pollock. Oh no, I'm going to go with pollock. Not big though. Did feel really rattly like a pout, but it's got a bit too much oomph to it, I think. Oh, it's coming up quite easy. Trouble fishing deep water, it's a long way down, a long way up. There's my leader. So pollock. There we go. Another pollock. Little tangle up in the boom. Sort that. As suspected, a little pollock. And once again, hey, oh, little pollock. Little juvenile, this one. About £1.5. It's got the black spots on it, which is a very telltale sign of a juvenile pollock, other than the size obviously. Now pollock and coalfish, I'm starting to get a few more coalfish round here. I've never had one, but I get them on the reefs, but I don't really fish that area that much. But pollock have a dip in the lateral line and the coalfish is straight, and the coalfish tend to be a bit more darker. Unfortunately these fish are blowing, so they're going to come home for me for dinner, for the other half of my neighbours. But that's two. Fish on. Got something on, doesn't feel big.
Seven sisters, fish by selectors.
Well, something's there. It was off the wreck, but feels a bit pouty. I don't want to end on a pout, but if it is, that's what it's going to be. Comes the leader. Right, there's another Pollock. Another Pollock. Well, that's all right to end on. That ain't too bad, I'll take that. I know it ain't big, but better than ending on a pout. There's probably a few fish on this. But yeah, tiny Pollock, again, little juvenile. Well, that is the end of today's session. I'm cutting it short just because I want to get home and I think I'm going to spend some time in the garden with the family today. It is absolutely stunning out here. I mean, you can see it behind me. We've had a few fish. We tried the banks this morning. It was always going to be a gamble. It didn't pay off. The turbot, for me, weren't there today. The whitings still are, which is not a good sign. So to save the blank, we've stopped on a wreck or two, snatched a couple of pollock, and we lost a nice fish, which I think might have been a nice cod. Certainly felt like it. Had all the telltale signs, but we'll never know. And we've got some underwater footage. So great day out on the ocean, but I'm going to go home and enjoy the rest of my day. Thank you for watching. Please do like and subscribe if you're not already. I know it's standard, but a lot of you aren't even subscribed or even following the social media, Facebook, Instagram. It all goes a long way with me and I really appreciate it. So thank you very much, and I will see you all again in the next one.